Welcome to the Pursuit of Glory. This is a real-life, real-time documentary about a 15-year-old Korean Australian boy with the dream to become a world boxing champion. Let us see if he can make it to the championship of the world. The first weapon in boxing we are going to teach the boy is obviously the most famous weapon in boxing. The King of Kings, the mother of all weapons, the undisputable jab. In the beginning, every boxer learns the same lesson, that boxing isn't just about power, it's about understanding, and the first thing to understand is the jab. The jab looks simple, a straight line, in and out, back and forth. But inside that line lives everything: rhythm, timing, distance, control. It's the first conversation between the two fighters. The jab asks the question. The rest of the punches are the answers. The jab teaches many things. Humility. Because no matter how strong you are, if your jab is weak, your foundation is weak. It teaches patience. Because it is not about throwing hard, it's about knowing when to throw. And it teaches discipline, because every time that glove extends, you're learning to control not just your opponent, but yourself. The rabbit hole goes deep. And your internal rhythms. Every champion began here. One hand, one line, one purpose. The jab, the simplest weapon in boxing, yet the most important truth in boxing. This is the deliverer or the delivery. The boy's technique, it does need work, but that will come with time. So there is no rushing, because we ain't Russian, we Korean, so we waiting and we practice patience, as patience is a virtue. The boy's just practicing rhythm. The boy's technique and movements may seem a bit awkward, but in the beginning, everything is always a little awkward, and that's why you must practice. And through that repetition, the movements will become ingrained in his body, and little by little, he will look smoother, his movements will get more efficient, and then he will look better. But for now, it's just a matter of drilling and perfecting, as that path takes time. Initially, the boy looks awkward, but initially everything is awkward. And that's why you must practice constantly, over and over. In judo, they call this uchikomi, and basically you repeat it to the point where the movements are ingrained into your mind, body, and spirit. Technique is also something that comes with time, just like a fine wine. There is no way to rush it. So you must travel the path of 1,000 steps. And each path, each journey begins with one step. But you must go through each and every step to get to the end of the path. As per most beginners, the boy is initially a bit tense and trying to use the strength of his muscles as opposed to the mechanisms of his whole body structure. But at this point in time, you cannot correct every little thing. So it is a matter of just repeating and refining in very small increments. So when he gets it right, you give him reassurance that he's on the right path. And when he gets it wrong, then you tell him that's not the way to do it. So the feelings of each will give him the indication of whether it is right or wrong, and then that personal refinement will continue little bit by bit, and through that repetition, through those boundaries that keep him moving towards the perfect line, the perfect line will come. Of course, nothing is ever perfect, but the striving towards that goal is the endeavor. So, we must do this over and over again, as repetition is the mother of all learning. Because he's just beginning and it's his very first time punching a pad, I don't want to criticize him too much about every little nuance, because that will break his spirit and make him dislike the process. So instead of criticizing every single time he does something wrong, I'm trying to take the approach of encouraging every time he does something right. And when he does something right, he remembers that feeling and then tries to repeat it and walk towards that path. But in saying all this, I still have to keep the fundamentals, informing him to make sure he keeps his elbows in tight, forming the pillars of defense, forming his boxing guard. Although we are only practicing, I did warn the boy in the fight, if you need to scratch your balls like that again, make sure you're out of range. Because ultimately, this is a fight, and the fighter is always instructed to take advantage of every situation they can. So, one must protect themselves at all times. Don't make the fatal mistake that Ortiz made against Mayweather and paid the price. how he learns that a true fighter doesn't just strike, he moves and strikes. The jab goes out sharp and clean, like a dagger, and his head slips away, out of danger, out of the line of fire. This is where timing is born, where instinct begins to whisper. He's learning that defense isn't retreat, it's rhythm. It's survival disguised as grace. Each jab teaches him not only how to attack, but how to disappear. Because in the art of boxing, the most beautiful punches are the ones that never get answered. One must ponder on this deeply. The jab, it's the heartbeat of boxing. Everything begins in with it and ends with it. It is the alpha and the omega in terms of boxing. It measures distance. It sets the rhythm. It opens doors and sometimes closes them. Every fighter from every era lived behind their lead hand, because the jab is the truth. You cannot fake it. You cannot rush it. Although it is made for trickery, it is a noble weapon. A lazy jab gets punished. A sharp jab controls the fight. The jab teaches patience, because you have to wait for the right moment. It teaches discipline, because you have to bring it back every single time. It's got to come home and protect the base. One must ponder on this deeply. It teaches respect, because it reminds you that boxing is not about chaos, it's about control. Every time he throws that jab, he's learning to lead, to think before he strikes, to own the space in front of him. This jab is the light in the darkness. It finds a way, and it keeps him safe. He builds everything that comes after. That's why they say you can know a fighter's soul by the way he throws his jab. One must ponder on this deeply. The jab is more than a punch. It's a fighter's compass. It finds direction when everything else is chaos. It sets the pace, tests the distance, controls the space between the two mills. It's not the loudest weapon, but it's one that speaks the most truth. Every champion builds his worth behind the jab. Measured, disciplined, unshakable. Because when the storm comes and everything moves too fast, this jab is what brings him back to the center. Center of rhythm, center of self. One must ponder on this deeply. Now the boy begins to learn one of boxing's oldest lessons, the 1-2, the jab followed by the cross. Simple, but in those 2 punches lives the entire language of boxing. The jab is the key that opens the door. The cross is the force that walks through it. Together, they create rhythm, balance, and purpose. Every fighter throws this combination, but only the patient ones understand it, because it's not just about speed or even power. It's about connection, hand to shoulder, shoulder to hip, hip to foot, all moving as one line of intention. When he gets this right, it feels effortless. It looks effortless. Like water finding its path. When he gets it wrong, everything unravels. The body stiffens, the timing breaks, the silence in between the punches disappears. The 1-2 teaches him how to breathe under pressure, how to strike and recover in the same heartbeat, how to commit, then return to calm. It's the first dance of boxing. 1 step forward, 1 step home. And inside that small rhythm, he's learning something far greater, that control and power are not enemies, they are partners. This is the foundation every champion builds on. 2 punches, infinite lessons. The jab and the cross, the beginning of the flow, the measure of balance, and the heart of every fighter's story. Speed isn't just about moving faster. It's about removing those spaces between actions. 1 breath, 1 motion, 1 heartbeat. When the timing is right, the sound changes. No longer 2 hits, but a single sharp rhythm that cuts through the air, making the 2 punches sound like 1. That's when the boxer begins to feel it. The moment when thinking disappears and instincts take over. The 1-2. 2 punches, 1 purpose, 1 perfect beat. The boy has learned the 1-2, the jab cross, the foundation of rhythm and flow. But boxing is never just one level. Every punch opens a door to the next. And today, he discovers the power of a jab leading to the left rip to the liver. The jab is the question. He reaches out first, measuring, distracting, controlling, hypnotizing. It's the hand that clears the path, demanding attention, asking, where will you respond? Where will you leave an opening? And there it is, the opening, the soft space under the rib cage, the unguarded side. That's where the left rib will land. The liver shot is quiet, but devastating. It's not about swinging wildly. It's about precision, timing, and intent. The boy extends the jab, slipping his head, measuring distance, and as the attention is drawn outward, the left hand rises, pivots, and finds its home. It's a punch that teaches patience. You cannot rush it. You cannot force it. You must earn it with timing, by rhythm, by control, by understanding your opponent's timing and balance. The jab sets the rhythm, the liver shot completes the story. Together, they are not just two strikes, they are a lesson in cause and effect, action and consequence, timing and understanding. More than that, it teaches respect. Respect for the art, for the body, for the subtle power hidden in a well-placed hand. Every fighter knows this. The quiet weapons are often the most dangerous. The punch to the liver is more than technique. It's strategy. It's awareness. It's the intelligence of the fighter expressed through muscle and motion. He practices again and again. Jab, left rib to the liver. Jab, left rib to the liver. Each repetition building connection